This is the San Francisco 49ers Report. Chase Sr. here with you. And as always, no matter where you are or how you're tuned in, thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day. What I want to accomplish on today's show, NFL free agency begins on Monday. We're going to be live all next week right here on the 49ers Report. So I want to go through some moves that the Niners can make in order to free up cap space, about $45 million. Currently, the Niners have just under $29 million in cap room. That's 20th in the NFL. With some of these post-June 1 designations, that cap number and the money freed up wouldn't be available to the Niners until later on that summer or this summer, but that's okay because that money can be used on a player like Brock Purdy if and when the Niners sign him to a contract extension. If they restructure some contracts, if they sign players to contract extensions, that money can be utilized right away in NFL free agency for the start of the new league year, which is next week. The trade of Deebo Samuel did cost San Francisco about $15 million on the cap because of that dead money charge. So that's why the cap number, which was a little bit higher, is now under $30 million, ranking the Niners 20th. But they can quickly climb back up the ladder among all 32 teams in available cap space by making these following moves. If the Niners were to restructure All-Pro linebacker Fred Warner's contract, they could save $12.3 million. If the Niners were to give him a contract extension, that would free up $13.2 million. There isn't really a concern right now with Fred Warner hitting the open market anytime soon. He's set to be a free agent in 2027. He's currently 28 years old, but he has no more guaranteed money left on his contract. So this could be a similar situation to Christian McCaffrey last year, where he has no more guaranteed money left on his deal. He wants to restructure, but the smart play too could be to give Fred Warner a contract extension, push that money down the road when you know the salary cap is going to continue to go up, and in the immediacy of the moment, you free up some cap space right now. And I have no concerns with giving Fred Warner a contract extension. Still playing at an elite level. He's been extremely durable. He's missed one game in his career. After he broke his ankle in week 4, he played the rest of the season, even when the Niners season was over and their playoff hopes were shot. Linebackers historically can age well. Fred Warner is still an excellent athlete, and I don't see any signs of him slowing down. He has been a first-team All-Pro 3 straight years, and he's been named a first-team All-Pro 4 of the last 5 years. And even though he was banged up for a majority of the 2024 season, and before that ankle injury against New England in week 4, he was looking like a defensive player of the year, he still played really good football this season. 131 tackles, 1 sack, 5 TFLs, 4 forced fumbles, a lot of pass breakups. He's still a game changer. As for George Kittle, if the Niners restructured his contract as he's going into the final year of his deal, that could clear up just shy of $10 million. The play here, I think, is for San Francisco to give one of the best tight ends in the NFL and the best all-around tight end in the NFL, pass catcher, run blocker, a contract extension. If the Niners give Kittle a contract extension, that will lead to about $10.5 million of cap space being at the disposal of San Francisco. For Kittle, he's entering the final year of his deal. He's going to turn 32 years old in October. Warner and Kittle should be career-long Niners. They're consummate pros. They are great leaders. They're everything that you want in a football player. They really have the elements that the Niners look for in players. And I just don't see how they're going to go anywhere. And like Fred Warner, George Kittle is still playing elite football. And like linebackers can age well, tight ends can age well. And there's a little bit of a misnomer out there about Kittle being injury prone. He's actually been a pretty durable player throughout his career. Will he miss a game here and there? Yes. But for the most part, he's been pretty damn durable. And he's a really unique specimen at 6'4", 250 with the athlete that he is, the way that he's able to move at that size. So important to this Niners offense. And he might have a bigger role moving forward after the trade of Deebo Samuel. Sometimes there are too many mouths to feed. I think Debo is feeling that a little bit. And he's looking at the future of this Niners team saying, I'm not sure if I want more touches, if I can get more touches on this team. But I think that could work out well for San Francisco, because when Kyle Shanahan has tried to force-feed Debo the football, I think the offense has gotten worse. We saw it last year, especially in that Rams game. We saw it in the Super Bowl against Kansas City. And I actually think that George Kittle should be more of a focal point of this offense. Last year, despite missing a game here and there, still had 78 catches for 1,100-plus yards, 8 touchdowns. And ever since Brock Purdy became this team's starting quarterback, his touchdown numbers have skyrocketed. And he has been a great weapon for Purdy. Red zone, in between the 20s, Yak King, really special player. And Kittle, like Fred Warner, the accolades are there, right? No signs of slowing down. He's been a first or a second team All-Pro in 5 of his last 7 seasons. So I think the play for the Niners should be give Fred Warner a contract extension, because I think he can continue to play at a really high level, and you free up some cap space now. Fred Warner not going to be a free agent until 2027. Not much of a rush to do that. But if you want to free up some cap space and allocate those dollars somewhere else, you can accomplish that. With a player like George Kittle, there's more pressure as far as the timeline because he's going into the final year of his deal. I want to put you to the test, though, before we continue to move forward on today's show. Your favorite all-time Niner. Who is it between these two players here to my right? Both greats. FW for Fred Warner, GK for George Kittle. Share your opinions with me and embrace debate down in the comment section right now. Our sponsor for today's show, our friends at Prize Picks, the best daily fantasy sports app in the game. More than 10 million active members, billions of dollars in awarded winnings. And right now, when you play $5, you get $50 instantly. You don't even need to win to receive that $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And with Prize Picks, you can win up to 1,000 times your money. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. You pick 2 or more players. You choose more or less on their projected stats. And it's just so much fun. Head to prizepicks.com/CLNS and get that $50 when you play $5. We have some season-long football picks that we can tell you about. And this is how the game works. Jared Goff, let's go with the less on the passing yards for 2025. New offensive coordinator. Travis Kelce, getting older. Let's go less than 774.5 receiving yards. And then Jaden Daniels, less than 824.5 rushing yards. I think they're going to put more on his plate as a passer. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. Pick more, pick less. prizepicks.com/CLNS. We'll put that link down below in the show notes and attached to the pinned comment of today's San Francisco 49ers report. More avenues that the Niners can take to free up some dollars. If they restructure Leonard Floyd's deal, that would clear up just north of $5 million. If they gave him a contract extension, that's unlikely. That would be up to $5.36 million in cap savings. If the Niners designated him as a post-June 1 cut, that opens up just under $8 million. I think the play here is to maybe cut Floyd to free up some of that cash. He was solid, but not great in 2024. He broke his streak of consecutive seasons of 9+ sacks. He still did have 8.5. Not great against the run. Solid pass rusher, but I don't think the Niners got what they were hoping they were going to get. That was a Super Bowl window type of move, and I'm not sure if Floyd fits that timeline right now. Now, if he comes back, I don't hate it, but you're going to have more of an edge rotation opposite of Nick Bosa. And speaking of Nick Bosa, the Niners are going to show interest in Joey Bosa. It all comes down to the price tag, but keep an eye on him as far as the Niners being a destination for him after he got let go by the Los Angeles Chargers in a move that saved about $25 million in cap space for Los Angeles. To another defensive end, Yeturgos Matos. Once he overcame that knee injury, thought he played solid ball, but probably not at that price tag. If the Niners restructured his deal, that could open up just under $5 million. If they gave him a contract extension, it's not worth it. Only clears up $5 million. If he was cut, or if he was a post-June 1 designation, if he was cut, that's $2.86 million. If he was a post-June 1 guy, that'd be just shy of $8 million. Now keep in mind, every team across the NFL now has 2 post-June 1 designations to use at their disposal. Javon Hargrave will be one of them. There's another slot opened up. And for YTM last year, I like the athlete at 6'5", 265. I like the prospects and the versatility that he has of playing defensive end and defensive tackle. If he stays healthy for an entire season, I think that he can actually be a pretty good contributor. But the price tag is what's worrisome for me. Other players to monitor here, and all of these moves would save the Niners somewhere in the neighborhood of about $2 million. These players can be cut. These contracts can be restructured. These players can be given contract extensions. Now, with a player like Jake Brendel, I would never give him a contract extension. With the player like Colton McKivitz, he has value as a backup tackle or a player who can play along the interior or a cheap right tackle. For Kyle Juszczyk, I never think that you need to pay a fullback a lot of money in today's NFL. I think that the Niners could cut him. According to some buzz out there, they're already working to restructure his deal to a certain degree. He's already made a lot of coin at that fullback position. But all of these players are names to keep in mind. Whether or not they're going to be on this team in 2025 and beyond, we'll certainly see. But there are avenues that you can take that you can free up about $2 million depending on what you do with Juszczyk, McKivitz, and Jake Brendel. So in totality there, that is how the Niners can free up about $45 million in cap space going into free agency if they're pretty aggressive here. And again, I want to reemphasize this. Post-June 1 designations, that money is available, not for free agency, but later on in the offseason. That money can then be used towards something like a Brock Purdy contract extension, a George Kittle contract extension. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. This is your go-to destination for informative Niners coverage and daily Niners content right here on YouTube. So lock us in today and continue to hang out here with us.